The human talent for creating and using tools has changed our way of thinking and altered our social relations. NextTech shows some of the many new technologies in advanced development who are ready to hit the market. Let's hope they enable us to solve some of the ailments of technological society and allow us to fly into the future. We will see all kinds of tools, inventions and discoveries affecting our daily life, our society, our planet. Some of them will be nanocomputing, smart materials, domestic robots, wearable computers, gene therapy, genetic screening, biotech food, new vaccines, artificial intelligence, cellular robots. You will learn about the world's first data storage robot, musical t-shirts and jackets, electroluminescent hoodies, e-paper for education, iClone for identification purposes, 3D real-time filmmaking, 3D television without glasses, paper windows and paper computers, outdoor and indoor metallic light, miniature projectors to beam digital video anywhere, silver zinc battery and a lot more. With Virtual PC you can create and run one or more virtual machines, each with its own operating system, on a single computer. This is Real Zinc stands for Zero Ink, a new way to experience full-color digital images, without the need for ink cartridges or ribbons. These are the very latest technology. They include a multicolored animated panel that has 8 sequences, also patterns that flash and animate right on the front of the clothing. And a lot more. If your idea of vacations is to go extreme, then book a stay at this Igloo Hotel, in Village Jucus JV, which is kept at -5 degrees Celsius or 23 degrees Fahrenheit. Every bit of frostiness is worth it. The entire hotel including the reception desk, chairs, bars and rooms is made of ice. Okay, the rooms are cozily recovered by wood, so you won't freeze. The resort requires 30,000 cubic meters of snow and 2,000 tons of ice from the nearby Torn River. During the day, try a field trip to the Space Center, where scientists study the northern lights, also with a telescope built on ice. Ice Telescope offers a new window to the universe. Scientists in the University of Wisconsin-Madison, and the National Science Foundation are turning a cubic kilometer of the Antarctic ice sheet into a giant neutrino telescope. It will detect light emitted by high-energy neutrinos as they interact with the ice. And a lot more. Imagine a telescope that weighs 1 billion tons, a mile deep, a mile wide device filled with crystal clear South Pole ice rather than optical glass, and that can see to the very far reaches of space.
Polymer Vision is focused on a new technology which is based on organic semiconductors. Organic semiconductors allow us to process materials at very low temperature and therefore on very thin substrates. And what we've done is we've adapted this technology to the display industry, which allows us to create ultra-thin, even rollable displays. They can roll into devices such as this, as I have here, where we open it up, we have a 5-inch diagonal display, very, very thin, and rollable back into the device. With normal display technologies, this would only have a 2-inch display, absolutely no bigger than that. This is actually quite a paper-like display. It has very, very low power, so 10 to 30x lower than normal, and readable under normal sunlight conditions. These are major advantages over current display technologies. It is in fact ideal for text-based content, so that is the primary target area for the first generation. However, we do see that it is also highly suitable for simple graphics and even GPS applications. Philips have been working on organic electronics for 10 to 20 years. And in the last 4 years, what Polymer Vision has done is adapted this technology for the first time to displays. Now this year, we've taken it a whole step further by integrating the technology for the first time into a fully functional mobile device. And this is a concept device called a Radius. So given the major advantages of our technology in having a large display in a small device and low power and readability, this is all about mobility. It's all about allowing people to access data and information while on the move, while traveling, while on vacation, while indoors, outdoors, and still keep it compact in a small mobile device and at very low power.
Okay, so this is the Iliad. It's a Linux-based e-reader. It uses e-paper, and it stores all of your written content and documents in folders: news, books, docs, and notes. So if I go into the books folder, I've got Mobi Pocket books, and I can open up a Mobi Pocket book here. I've got a couple of books here. Here's one I'm reading. It's Blink, and it will open to the page where I left the last time. So when it opens up, you can see the progress that it's making here in opening the folder, and there's feedback up in the top. And I can go directly to a page. I can grow the text. And it's got a smart bookmark on it. So if I double the size of the text and I start out with 1,000 pages, it's still 1,000 pages. And of course, on the Mobi Pocket site, there are 300,000 RSS feeds. And if I'm connected to those RSS feeds, and the Iliad is connected to my PC with the Mobi Pocket application running, those RSS feeds are updated on my personal library of the Mobi Pocket browser all day long, and then those are automatically synchronized to the device, so that when I leave at night, I've got all my favorite feeds. And if I go to the last page here, USA Today usually has some good content on it, or some picture content. So I'll open up the USA Today. This is a fairly big document. Sure. And then let's go to page 1. I've grown this text pretty large. So this is last updated on June the 13th. These are all links. So if I'm going to just make this a little smaller so that we can see more links. And let's choose this one here. So it's got a picture, it's got the story, and I read the story just like I would a book.
A new flight simulator, with instructor, is assumed a lesson. But with no pilot, it is an invitation to a real adventure. A small plane was flown over England recently, with no pilot in the cockpit, to test technology that might one day be used to control swarms of unpiloted aircraft from a single jet. The flight was designed to assess whether a pilot could someday control several uncrewed air vehicles from their own plane. A video conference, also known as a video teleconference, is a set of interactive telecommunication technologies, which allow two or more locations to interact via two-way video and audio transmissions simultaneously. It has also been called visual collaboration, and is a type of group where it differs from video phone in that it is designed to serve a conference rather than individuals. Video conferencing uses telecommunication. Streaming multimedia is multimedia that is constantly received by, and normally displayed to, the end user, while it is being delivered by the provider. The name refers to the delivery method of the medium, rather than to the medium itself. The distinction is usually applied to media that are distributed over telecommunications networks, as most other delivery systems are either inherently streaming, for example radio and television, or inherently non-streaming as books, video cassettes, and audio CDs. Ink and Motion is a dynamic new electronic display medium for retail point-of-purchase advertising produced with innovative electronic ink technology. Combines motion with the visual appeal of ink on paper to help retailers and marketers captivate customers. Ideal for retail environments where power access is limited. A typical postcard-sized Ink and Motion display is capable of running on just 2 AA batteries for up to 6 months. These displays use no backlight or front light, and can be easily viewed from almost any angle and under virtually any lighting condition. The principal components of electronic ink are millions of tiny microcapsules, about the diameter of a human hair. Thanks to miniaturization, you will be able to carry in your pocket products that now do not fit in your briefcase, such as projectors and printers. Probe storage is a technology that makes indentations 10 nanometers in diameter in a plastic film. Each indentation is a bit, which can be heated back to its original shape. All built into a chip, thousands of tiny probes move back and forth a minute distance over the film. Because of its many feet, IBM's code name for its probe storage technology is millipede. Probe storage is expected to use no more power than a flash memory card, but store up to 100 times as many bits as traditional disk storage. IBM expects that as many as 25 million pages of text will be stored in an area no larger than a postage stamp. Systems.
Sony has developed a full-color flexible display built onto a sheet of plastic that can be bent but still show video. The 2.5-inch screen, which is one of the first of its type in the world, has a resolution of 160 by 120 pixels, making it a little larger than a typical cell phone screen, but a little lower resolution. It's an OLED, or organic light emitting diode display. In such displays, the pixels emit their own light, and so an additional source isn't required as it is in a conventional LCD panel. That means the screens consume less power and can be made thinner. OLEDs also handle fast-moving images well and offer good color reproduction. Building the screen on flexible plastic instead of glass introduces some problems, such as keeping the various layers inside the screen aligned and working while the panel is flexed. Look closely and you'll see some glitches on this screen, but it's still a work in progress. Sony sees OLED technology as important for its future products. At the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas in January, Sony showed off prototype TVs based on larger, non-flexible 11-inch and 27-inch OLED panels. Thanks to the lack of a backlight, the 11-inch prototype was just 11 mm thick, but displayed a vibrant, colourful image. Sony plans to have its first OLED TVs on sale in Japan this year.
Paper Windows is a prototype windowing environment and set of interaction techniques that allows us to examine how we might bridge the divide between the digital and physical world of computing via paper interfaces. Our system tracks the movement of physical paper windows using a Vicon motion capturing system. This allows us not only to track the shape of a piece of paper, but also the movement of pens, fingers, hands, and other objects in relation to the paper document. Users can scroll through paper windows in discrete units. A scrolling action is initiated by flipping the paper window around its horizontal axis. This causes the next page in the active document to be displayed on the back of the paper. Users can scroll back by reversing the flip. Flips around the vertical axis are used to specify back and forward actions that are application specific. For example, when browsing the web, a left flip causes the previous page to be loaded.
So Dave, I hear you have a web page with photos from last week's party?
Yeah, I put in some thumbnails. It's just on my desktop right now.
Oh, can I have a look at them?
Yeah, sure. I'll grab it.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's much easier.
Yeah, there's a good one of you when doing Ormir. Let me show you. Where is it?
Oh, is that the one?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, awesome.
You want to see it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's a great photo.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's a pretty cool clip.
Actually, can I get a copy of that photo?
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome. That's great. Anyways,
Cool.
I gotta get back to work, but thanks for the photo.
Okay. Talk to you later.
This scenario shows the use of paper windows as a focus plus context technique, with one window providing a thumbnail overview of the images and another window offering a more detailed view. Users can select thumbnails by pointing at the source page.
75-year-old Helen McCoy of Hazelwood, Missouri, can once again take long walks with her husband. And that's a complete turnaround from last winter, when a fall on the ice caused a fractured vertebra and several months of incapacitating pain.
At times, I couldn't even get up out of bed. And if I stood for a long time, I had to sit down because my back just was so painful.
Let's go down off of Zoom, please. All the way off Zoom. I want to take a picture of her entire spine right now.
To rid herself of the pain, McCoy underwent a new procedure called percutaneous vertebroplasty, or PVP. Dr. Louis Galula at the Washington University Medical Center in St. Louis says PVP involves injection of a surgical bone cement into the injured or deteriorating segments of the spine. Galula says PVP is a virtually painless, far less invasive procedure than surgery. It's especially effective, Galula says, for a large number of people with common spinal injuries or diseases.
The big areas are tumors, especially metastatic disease, and also the osteoporotic compression fracture. In some other people, it's not even osteoporosis necessarily, just a bad compression fracture where the vertebra is squashed down. They can get pain, and this can help them.
Galula says Helen McCoy's positive outcome is what most patients experience.
And immediately after the procedure, she stands up with a smile and says, "My pain's gone."
After I got home, no, I could practically do my normal things.
And this has happened to several patients. That's what's been so satisfying.
Galula says at this point, PVP is being performed at only a handful of hospitals in this country. But as word spreads of the procedure's pain-relieving results, Galula thinks PVP's availability will become widespread. This tiny worm with the big name, Caenorhabditis elegans, is making a big name for itself among scientists. Science magazine is publishing the worm's complete genetic.
Some of these scenarios sound right out of a sci-fi movie, but do they come true? You bet. Some within months, others within a few years, but what about having them in your office? Or using them in your own living room? The answer is positive. Technology analysts confirm that most of these emerging technologies are likely to be found, in a year or two, in at least 30 or 40% of U.S. households or businesses. Stay tuned for more.